What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another reaction video to the victory over Newcastle 2-1 away at St James's Park. People, I'm in the car again. I just actually pulled over to get petrol and I thought, let me get the video done before it gets too late. I'll be honest, people, man, today was a massive result for Arsenal. You know, not the perfect performance again by any means, and to be honest, we're 15-20 minutes away from a totally different conversation here in this reaction video. But to go to Newcastle 1-0 down, to fight back and score 2 goals, including like a late winner, is just a fantastic result for Arsenal. And to be honest, this needs to be a result that springboards our season, that we use as a, I don't know, sort of to give us that feeling that yes, you can win major trophies this season if you get your act right. In terms of the starting 11, I was happy with most of the 11. Probably 2 players I wouldn't have picked today were Mosquera and Trossard. The Mosquera one is in hindsight, let's be honest. The report was sort of that Arsenal didn't want to play Saliba 3 times in a week. My sort of question mark was Saliba should have missed Port Vale and played today. This was the more difficult game. This was the game you needed the experienced player in Saliba. And Mosquera struggled. He'll learn a lot from today. I think some Arsenal fans have maybe overhyped Mosquera. And today's performance doesn't mean he's a bad player either. He'll learn from it. Maybe needs to improve on the ball at times, but clearly there is a talent there and he's young and he'll learn. And Trossard was the other one for me that I probably wouldn't have started today. I just felt Martinelli's pace. Newcastle are not a team that necessarily just sit back, and I thought his pace could have damaged them maybe more than Trossard. But the majority of the 11 we were happy with. Eze was in the 10. In terms of the performance today, you know, I thought Eze played well in the 10 today. He didn't get the ball as much as I would have liked, but a couple of really good shots, and Pope made good saves. He played the pass that led to the penalty that was or wasn't in Victor Gyökeres. And I thought Eze showed real quality in that 10. If we can get him on the ball more, I think it only improves as time goes on. Odegaard came on and did well, played a really nice ball to Lewis Skelly, put the corner in that Gabriel scored the header. In terms of Gabriel, I was really disappointed with Gabriel on the goal that we conceded. Rotemard gave him a little nudge. He tried to buy a free kick. It wasn't a foul, and he scores from it. And I just think, big defender, man, you got to be more aggressive and try and win the ball. But he makes up for it in the right way, scores the winning goal, big celebration, massive. You could see what it meant to the group. Credit to Arteta as well. He made good changes. Marino came on, scored a fantastic header, glancing into the far corner. Again, another player that seems to do well as an impact player off the bench. A really good goal from him. I thought Declan Rice today, I've said a lot about Declan Rice over the last few weeks. I don't think we're seeing the best of Declan Rice in the 8, but as that game got later on, Arteta took off Zubimendi and seemed to put Rice in the 6. He made a couple of fantastic challenges, recovery challenges, which I think he's really good at. He then put a brilliant cross in for the Marino header. And I just think, I mean, I saw Bruno Guimaraes today, and for a long time I've said I would like Bruno to be our left 8, Rice as the 6, and then maybe Eze as the 10. I think that team would have fantastic balance. We're not going to get Bruno Guimaraes at this moment in time. But I just think Rice is better in the 6, with the freedom to go forward as well. But the left 8 just doesn't seem to get the best out of him, in my opinion. The front 3 was interesting today. I thought Trossard was lacklustre, not great. Hit the post in the first half, maybe should have scored. He was okay, but nothing special. Saka, a couple times he got past the fullback, but the end product wasn't great. Doesn't really look for the striker that much, tends to look for the shot more often. He ended up coming off. Brave decision from Arteta. But Saka, I still don't think we're seeing him at his best. I think the injuries have actually slowed Saka's sort of progress down in general. I think a year or so ago, we were looking at Saka going, he's absolutely flying. There was a thought that he could have broke the assist record last season. You're now seeing a guy with a torn hamstring and a pulled hamstring who, yeah, he's trying to find his way. And it's going to take time, and hopefully he does find that again in terms of Bukayo, which I hope he will. But he needs to be managed correctly. Gyökeres, it was a tough day at the office for Gyökeres, man. There was a time in that game where Lascelles had his hand in his mouth. And I said, genuinely, Gyökeres is just fighting centre-backs. This is tough for him. It's one of them where he put a good shift in. But then I always used to say with Eddie and Nketiah and other strikers, I can't compliment you that much for just putting in a hard shift of hard work. There has to be quality. A ball fell to him in the second half. He tried to control it. He had a heavy touch. It felt like he could have side foot volleyed it. There was one in the first half. He tried to do the Cristiano Ronaldo chop back when it feels like he could have hit it. There was one at the end of the game where he sort of hit it and it got blocked. And then one where it hit his foot and went wide. So strikers don't always get clear-cut chances, but sometimes you've got to score half chances. I think that, and some people are starting to get frustrated with him, but I think he will benefit from the run of games that we've got coming up. If you look at it, I mean, we've played United away, Liverpool away, Newcastle away, City at home, Forest and Leeds at home. It's been a tough opening 6 or 7 games, if you include Europe as well. You know, I think our next few games are West Ham, Palace, Fulham and Burnley. So you're hoping that he can get a goal-scoring run going. He does need to lift his game a little bit as well. I am a fan of Gyökeres, but he does need to be that bit sharper, that second quicker, if he's going to score goals. And of course, Marino scored today. That might put pressure off him. Will Arteta think about playing him up front if Gyökeres doesn't start scoring? And we know that Havertz could potentially be back in the next 2 months. So a work in progress, but we need to see more. Just listen, in terms of positives, I thought Raya had a good game again. I thought Jurriën Timber was the best player for Arsenal today. Thought he was an absolute rock. Did well against Gordon. And I just think Timber's a fantastic player. I love watching him play. I thought Calafiori today wasn't particularly great. There's one time he volleyed the ball, man, where he should have controlled it on the left-hand side, and he just booted it over the... Well, it could have gone over the stadium. It went that high. Got booked again for a needless foul. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what Lewis Skelly's done, but he seems to be out of favour with Mikel at the moment. And Calafiori as a left-back, I'm not convinced by him. He's okay. He's not playing terrible. But will Nketiah end up being the guy that plays left-back? Will Skelly get his place back? Maybe we still need a left-back. I don't know. I still think that left-hand side, in general, if I was being honest, is still not at, like, title-winning level. You know, a Calafiori that's a bit wild, who ends up everywhere. Trossard, who I don't really think is a starting player. I think we need to fix that left-hand side. I would still like to see Leao, Rodrigo, Yildiz, somebody of that ilk on that left-hand side. Just give us that little bit more quality. And then a settled left-back, whether that's Skelly or Nketiah or a new left-back. But listen, today was a fantastic win. Well done to Mikel Arteta for the changes. You influenced the game in a positive fashion. Brought Saliba on at half-time. Admitted sort of that you got it wrong with Mosquera. Marino scores. Odegaard gets an assist. Eze plays in the 10. So well done to Arteta. What I loved today was the fighting spirit. We're 9 minutes into this video. I haven't spoken about the referee or the penalty that wasn't given, because ultimately, if it was a penalty or wasn't, nothing changes. I sat there at half-time. I said, we'll see if this team is capable of winning the title, if they win this game. I feel like title-winning teams, they beat that Newcastle team. This is a Newcastle that have won 1 in 6, that are struggling to score goals without Isak, that are not free-flowing. They were there to be beaten, and we did the job. And the team showed me a real big plus in their attitude today and their mentality. I think Eze can flourish in that 10. But Odegaard came off the bench and did well. I actually think there's scope for Arsenal against teams who are struggling at home to go play Rice as a lone 6 and play Odegaard and Eze in the 10. Play both of them. You know, teams where we're going to dominate the ball 65-70% possession. Why can't we play with 2 10s rather than 2 6s? I think he can change things a little bit. So, listen, the good thing is we've got good options. Next weekend's a big weekend. Liverpool play Chelsea away. We play West Ham at home. We play first. If we beat West Ham at 3 o'clock next Saturday, we'll be top of the league going into that Liverpool-Chelsea game. So, listen, well done to the manager. Well done to the team. Fine margins. I'll be honest, 20 minutes to go. I'm typing up tweets in the drafts to go mad. And then I edited and deleted, you know, later on. So, football's an emotional game, man. And listen, it wasn't an amazing performance. But what it was more positive. We had more goal threat. And we probably should have been winning at half-time. And by the end of the game, I actually think we deserved to win the game. I thought we were the better team of the two. This is a team that beat us 3 times last season, if you include the cup game. So, really big win, good feeling, big celebrations when we scored. Has to be a building block now. I said it on my show, I think Arsenal have to win every league game between now and the next international break. So, you got to beat Burnley, you got to beat Fulham. I think we got Palace at home. You got to beat West Ham next week. Arsenal have got to go and win 4 or 5 games in a row in the Premier League now, and that's real questions of this Liverpool team. So, good weekend. Liverpool lost. Eddie Nketiah scored the winner. We beat Newcastle. Onwards and upwards from this point. Big up to all the Arsenal fans in the chat. Thank you for the support on the watch along. 100,000 views plus again, which is amazing. Jurriën Timber, man of the match for me. And get in the comments, let me know what you think about today's game, people. Take care, everyone. Bless.